Hello, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to Live an Empowered Life with Lou, and I am your host, Lou Perica. For those of you who do not know me, I am a success mindset mentor, and I remind people just how powerful they are by shifting the way they think, releasing their limiting beliefs so they can create freedom in their career, their finances, and personal life. And all of this is within us. So before I just get started, for those of you who were with me last week, my apologies because I had an internet connection issue. So I kind of lost power and then came back later on. Hopefully that won't happen. My new home office is the furthest from the router. And also, I noticed my camera is not working, so I think I'm back to having purple hair, if I'm not mistaken. And this top is actually navy, but I see that it's purple on screen. But anyways, I thank you for being here. I appreciate you all. So each week, my trainings piggyback on one another, and they're lessons taken from my program, Thinking into Results. And I also share articles with you as well. Like last week, we talked about responsibility. That's one of the articles in the program. So the reason I share this with you is because I'm very passionate about thinking into results and how much of an impact this has had on not only my life, but on my clients' lives. And what I share with you, I never learned from all the real estate coaching that I've invested in, the mentors, the trainings, the webinars, the strategies, the systems, et cetera, right? Books, because those things were always focused on changing the results by doing things, but they never went to the root cause, which is why I was not seeing the changes, right? Or maybe I wasn't consistent enough because I didn't go to the root cause. It wasn't the programs, they all worked. It was me. And I'm not being hard on myself, but now I understand I wasn't programmed. I had to change my programming before I could apply everything that I was learning. See, I was trying to find the fix or the answer outside of myself. And so the purpose of these trainings is to share with you why the answer is within us, and it's within each and every one of us. So today's training, are you feeling stuck? So we all get stuck at some point in our lives. It's very natural. What we don't want is to stay stuck, right? And we stay stuck by focusing on what is not working for us, what we don't want. We're focusing on our current results. And this kind of keeps us on the hamster wheel, right? We're not getting sales, for an example, or it could be something in your personal life. It could be a relationship. Whatever it is, we're focusing on those things and we're replaying it over and over in our mind. So this is what keeps us stuck. So I'm going to share with you today, and this is one of my favorite topics to talk about, paradigms, self-image, and attitude. Those are probably my top three topics to talk about. But today I'm going to talk about paradigms and how powerful they are in controlling our habitual thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. And ultimately, they control our results in life. So my clients and I, from going through thinking into results, we gained a deep understanding of how powerful paradigms are and the importance of shifting the paradigms by releasing these old limiting beliefs and habits that no longer serve us. So what we have to do is we replace the old paradigms with new paradigms that do serve us. And once we start doing this, we will start to see an increase in business and in our personal lives. So, maybe you've heard of what a paradigm is. I know it was new to me when I heard of it. So let me just explain. So a paradigm is a mental program that's in our subconscious mind that controls our habitual thoughts, our feelings, and behavior. Or an easier way to understand it, it's our programming, it's our belief system. And our paradigms control, are you ready for this? 96 to 98% of our day to day activity. Yeah, right. I was blown away when I heard that stat. The paradigms control a multitude of things, but they control our self image, our income, our use of time, productivity, our perception, and a whole lot more. So, where do they come from? Let me just take a little sip. Thank you. So, I want you to think about a brand new baby entering the world. Okay. The baby comes into the world full of awe and wonder. And all the all the rules, all the beliefs, all the behaviors from the people that this baby is surrounded by is recorded in the baby's subconscious mind. We were literally trained when we were infants. It's a way for the baby to understand and learn its tribes, if you will, its tribes' habits, beliefs, and how they behave. They learn, we learned how to speak. We learned what kind of food do we like. Think about that, right? We like the food that we like because our parents gave it to us and they liked it. So we learned to like that kind of food. We learn how do they treat one another. So think of this baby, right? Think of the baby just watching the people in its environment. They're watching how they're treating one another. They're picking up. They may not understand the conversation, but they're going to feel the energy. They'll feel the vibration. So sometimes if parents, let's just say, are having a strong discussion, they may be in another room away from the baby, but that baby can pick up those vibrations. The baby is picking up what the adults believe in. And as this baby is getting older, it's hearing it from their other parts of their environment, whether it's TV, radio, teachers, other friends, other family members, right? So they're learning how to play the game of life. So a baby learns how to speak its language, right? If you think about it, there are babies, maybe you know of somebody, but there are babies that can speak multitude of languages because they don't have their conscious mind isn't developed yet to say, I can't do that. They just take it in and learn several languages. The baby learns how to walk, it learns how to eat. These types of programming or paradigms serve us, right? You don't have to learn how to pick up a fork every time you want to go and eat something. When you learn how to tie your shoes, right? The subconscious mind, it became a pattern, it became a habit, so you don't have to relearn it every time. It makes things easier and efficient. But these programs are planted in the subconscious mind through repetition, repetition, repetition. Again, you don't have to relearn them. But a baby does not have, really think about this. A baby isn't born with limiting beliefs. A baby isn't born with self-doubt. A baby does not have a self-image. A baby doesn't know what self-worth is. It doesn't know conditional love, etc. All these things. It's all learned and recorded and stored in the subconscious mind. And we are unconsciously acting out those beliefs since childhood, every day of our lives. And unless we change them, we will continue with the same habits over and over. And if you have children, you now pass those habits on to your children. They're our habits. We are the only ones who can change them. So here's what happens. Here's three struggles that people face that affect their business and their personal lives. Number one, letting the present results dictate their current thinking, focusing on the results that they don't want. Not only that, we start to identify ourselves with our results. So let's just say you're in sales and you have no sales. You may start thinking, oh, I'm a lousy salesperson. No one wants to speak with me. I can't sell anything. And this is what now we're attaching our identity to the results. Number two, we get frustrated with the up and down sales, right? I did a training, I don't know, a few weeks ago about the roller coaster syndrome. Many of us have experienced this. So what we think we're going to do is we're going to work harder and harder. And what happens? This starts impacting our precious family time, right? Number three, we have negative habits that are not serving us, but we do not understand how to develop new habits that do serve us so we can get the results that we do want. So I'm going to start on the solution part. We've all heard about the law of gravity. We understand it. We may not fully understand it in all the intricate details, but we know if we walk off a building, we're going down. And actually, when you think about it, where you're sitting right now, if you're sitting, if you're driving, whatever you're doing, look around you. The law of gravity is in action right now. My computer and my desk, everything is on the floor. I am in my chair. My lamp is sitting on the desk. A mountain stays put. See, the law of gravity doesn't know the difference between a mountain or a marble. It just knows, well, I shouldn't say, it just acts as the law of gravity. Everything stays put until it's up and moved and placed somewhere else. Again, the law of gravity doesn't matter if it's a mountain or a marble, it still works the same way. But here, now that's a natural law, but there are many laws that we may not be familiar with. And one of the laws that I'm going to talk about is the law of polarity. Now, this is an immutable law, meaning it cannot change. Unlike the law of gravity, if you go in space, the law of gravity doesn't apply, right? But the law of polarity is an immutable law. It's a universal law, meaning it's the law of opposites. So you cannot have an up without a down. You cannot have a forward without having a reverse or a backwards. So if we're not happy with our current results in business or in our personal lives, we are focusing on what we don't want, which is negative thinking. So if we continue to think, no sales, lack and scarcity, how am I going to pay the car bill? The kids need braces, etc. Or maybe we're in a bad relationship. Whatever it is that we're focusing on that we do not want, how do we feel? Really simple, right? We feel frustrated and sometimes depressed because we keep thinking about it over and over. And this is why sometimes, when you go to therapy, you keep talking about something over and over. You keep giving it energy. If you keep giving it energy, it will continue to grow and live, right? Another thing, we feel frustrated. When we feel frustrated and depressed, how do we behave? If you're feeling frustrated and depressed, let's just say about your sales, do you feel inspired to pick up the phone or to maybe network? Most likely you're withdrawing if you're feeling frustrated and depressed. And what's your energy like, right? It really just stinks. Your energy stinks. And everyone around us can pick up on our energy. Think about, I use this as an example. Maybe you're home and somebody in your family or a friend, whatever, comes into your home and they're in a really bad mood. You can feel that energy before they even speak. You can pick up on that energy. Well, our clients and our family members and our friends pick up on that energy as well when we're in a lousy mood, and vice versa. So typically when we're in that kind of a mood, feeling frustrated, depressed, I don't, lack, scarcity, and there's no sales, we think by working harder, maybe we'll read more books, maybe we'll go to more trainings, we purchase systems and strategies, and we just hope that they'll work, only to be disappointed again. And all of this hamster wheel affects our business and our relationships. How do I know? Because I did it. I did it. I used to hope if I invested in this new strategy, this system, by magic, it will work for me. I didn't realize that it was my own thinking. I was putting the power in the strategy and not in myself. That was a big mistake, but I didn't know better. I was not aware. And this is what these trainings are for. They're to raise your level of awareness that it's all within you. So, yeah, so with the strategies, I would do them, but really everything works if you work it. But here's the thing with systems and strategies that I've discovered. When it comes to technology, technology is fabulous. It has connected us, everyone around the globe. We're all connected. It's wonderful. It is also constantly changing. We can't keep up with technology. It's just one thing after another. So this is why when we keep buying systems and strategies, by the time you learned a new system and strategy, you've taken time away from your business. You're going to study this new system, this new strategy. By the time you learn it, something new has come along. This is why understanding how you think and how you operate is key. So, what is the solution, Lou? The solution is very simple, but it's not always easy. And so, the solution is to think the opposite of what you've been thinking. Remember the law of polarity. Think about the law of gravity. So, the law of polarity, you think about the opposite. So if you're not getting sales, for an example, or if you're in a lousy relationship, or if your bank account isn't where you want it to be, or if your health isn't as good as you'd like it to be, you think the opposite. And this sounds fairly simple, right? But here's what Jim Rohn says. He says, and I love this quote, "What is easy to do is also easy not to do." And I've used this before in the trainings. We're not suggesting you build the Taj Mahal. This is all very simple solutions, but you have got to have the desire and apply it. So we think abundance instead of lack and scarcity. We think abundance. We think about being grateful for all that we have. We create an image of ourselves of who we want to be and how we want to live. Remember, go back to when you were a baby. Go back to what I used for an example as the babies. They did not choose their self-image. They just bought, this is what was handed down to them. This is what they believe. Once you start to study yourself and understand just how powerful you are, you get to choose. You will start to understand that you get to choose who you want to be. I am who I say I am. But most of us think, well, this is who I've always been. This is how I'll always be. And you can think that way. It's up to you. It's your choice. But if you're not happy, if you're not living a meaningful, fulfilling life, you get to choose who you want to be and the life that you want to live. Um, so having these new thoughts, these opposite thoughts, will cause you to feel so much better. When you feel better, you do better. Um, your energy raises and others will pick up on it. Again, think about the person who hasn't even entered the room and they're in a really lousy mood. You can feel it. Your positive mental attitude will attract others with like energy. This is what the law of attraction is about. Like attracts like. It's not what you want, it's the vibration and the energy that you are putting out. It's your belief system. You can never outperform your self image. We can never outperform our belief system. And that's why we need to change it. We need to change our perception on our beliefs and who we are. When we start to change our energy, you will start to see an increase in your business and your personal life will get so much better because people like being around people with great energy and a positive outlook on life. Think about a person that you might know. We all know someone that has a crappy attitude. When I see someone like that, I just want to hide. I just want to run. I don't want to be around them because they're sucking the energy out of me. So, again, be around people with great energy. When we think good thoughts, we feel good about ourselves and we start behaving better. And this is how we start to change our negative habits into habits that serve us. We must replace, this is a key word, we must replace negative thoughts with positive ones. I'm going to give you an example. Excuse me. My mentor, Bob Proctor, who recently passed, I think it was in February. When he was younger, he drank a lot and he wanted to stop drinking. But he didn't replace that habit with a positive one. And because he didn't replace that negative habit, he picked up another negative habit. This is why they say, I think if you're going to whatever, quit smoking or release some weight, drink water or whatever, or maybe you go for a walk. You need to replace that negative habit with a positive one that serves you, or another negative habit will creep its way in and rear its ugly head. So we must look at our non-productive habits objectively. Understand it is not you. You are amazing. It is simply your programming. And our results in life is not what defines us. It is simply telling us this is how you're thinking. That's all it is. That's all it is. And, this is very powerful. Again, if you're a parent, maybe you have a child in school that is bringing home maybe not so terrific grades. And we start looking at that child like they're not competent enough, they're not smart, they're a little behind. And the child now accepts that image, and the subconscious mind will keep that child from keep doing, wrong things, if you will, with negative habits. We become what we believe, what others believe of us as well. So how do we do this? We're going to write down what is currently happening in our life, whether it's your business or your personal life. And here's an example. And let's just say it's your sales. These are my current results. My sales go up, they go down. Sometimes I get ahead, sometimes I lose. I just can't seem to get past a certain point. I'm sure many of you can identify with this. I know I could have, right? On another sheet of paper, I want you to write the opposite in the present tense. This is very key. I am so happy and grateful. Quality leads flow to me on a continuous basis. My sales are getting better and better every day. Even saying that, my own energy shifts just by saying that. So, what I want you to do is you write down the you write down the new affirmation, and then you take the old one, your current results, and I want you to burn it or shred it. If you burn it, I prefer to I burned mine, but I also almost burned the sink. So be very, very careful when you're doing it. But this is simply symbolic. And what you're doing is you're saying goodbye to that old thought and that old behavior that isn't serving you, and you're replacing it with the new one. So again, when you write down what is not for you and you burn it or shred it, it's simply symbolic. However, in your mind, you're saying, I'm done. I'm done. And you're releasing all of that. That is no longer how I want to live or the results I want. Now, I want you to write the new affirmation, right? The one that your leads are coming to you on a continuous basis, etc. You write that down maybe 25 times every morning and every night. Now, this is when the paradigm kicks in, because it's going to say, I don't want to do that. Well, if you want to change, you must be and do something different, or you will continue on the hamster wheel until you decide to change. So there's the ways that we can change a paradigm. There's four ways. One is through constant spaced repetition, doing it over and over and over. This is the one that you have control in. The other way is an emotional impact. Typically, an emotional impact is usually negative, but you have no control. We don't know when an emotional impact is going to hit us. And it's usually something that's from outside that shocks us. And again, we don't know when that's going to happen, so we don't have control over that. The other way is through hypnosis. So every time you want to change something, you'd have to run to a hypnotist, and not everyone can be hypnotized. And the fourth way is through energy therapy. Again, you have to go for outside help. So you are disempowering yourself. So the only way to change these paradigms are through constant spaced repetition. And that paradigm is going to fight you when you're writing out those affirmations over and over. Why am I doing this? This is so stupid. This is so stupid. I just posted something in a Facebook group. My mentors, Bob Proctor and Sandy Gallagher, they were writing out this, I'll just call it an affirmation with their non-dominant hand. And they were writing it out every single day for a year. And I remember them telling us that. And I thought to myself, yeah, I'm never going to do that exercise. I couldn't see the point in doing it. So for, I don't know, a couple of years, I didn't do it. And I have this, someone gave me this notebook, and that affirmation is written there, and it tells you to write it with your non-dominant hand. Well, I started writing with my dominant hand, my writing paradigm, if you will, is my right hand. So I started writing with my left hand, and it was a mess, right? It was like hieroglyphics. It was like almost like Chinese writing. I couldn't even make heads or tail of what I was writing. But each day I started doing it. And each day I could see a slight difference. I could see I was getting better and better. And the reason I bring this up is because doing the exercise, I could visually see I was getting better and better. So it's almost like when we plant a seed in the ground, you don't see the magic that is happening in the soil, in the air. You don't see what's happening under the ground, how that plant is growing. So when you are writing your affirmations, when you are shifting the way you think, when you are releasing limiting beliefs, sometimes you don't see Just like with me with the handwriting, I could visually see, but I can't see what's going on behind the scenes. I don't know what's happening in the non-physical, right? So this is where faith comes in, and that's another topic for another day. But it's really all up to us. We have the power to choose who we want to be. Our results is an expression of our self-definition. We must have a vision. It's so important to have a vision and then make a decision. Make a irrevocable, committed decision to be who you want to be. But you have to make the decision from this person that you want to be, not this person, because this person will keep making decisions from the paradigm, from the programming. The paradigms keep us comfortable, right? It keeps us in familiarity. So if you really truly desire change, you must change the paradigms. So today's training is all part of my Thinking into Results program. And I hope you enjoy learning about paradigms and how they control 96 to 98% of our results. If we want to change our results, we must change the programming, which is the root of all behavior. I hope this training helps someone today. And if you know of someone that you think these trainings would help, please have them join our Facebook group, which is Live an Empowered Life with Lou. And or if you want to reach out to me and just have a conversation to see if I may be able to help you, you can just DM me. In the meantime, I thank you again for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.